So what do we have here today, Paul?
Okay, so today I'm showing you the Clever coffee dripper. There's a lot of videos out there on how to brew with the Clever, but I wanted today to show you how I do it and also some of the ways to clean it and the pros and cons on the Clever coffee dripper, which I haven't really been able to find a comprehensive video on that. So first we're going to show you how to brew it. This is the Clever coffee dripper. The nice thing about this brewer is it is a full immersion brewer and a pour over brewer, so it combines the best of both worlds. It makes a really nice cup of coffee and it's super easy to do. So the first thing you want to do is figure out what your brew ratio is going to be. Today I'm going to be using a 1:15 brew ratio. So I'm going to use 21 grams of coffee. This is a Malone specialty coffee, a dark Guatemalan roast, so I'm excited to give that a try. I'm going to grind it up first, so let's do that. The grind setting on this conical burr grinder I'm using similar to what I'd use in a Chemex, so I've got it set on 20. So we've ground up the coffee. I do want to quickly show you the filters here. So you could use either a paper filter or one of these mesh filters. I find that I like the paper filter. It does a cleaner cup. This makes more of like a French press. You can buy this on Amazon. I like to use this also with loose leaf tea, and that's what I use this with the mesh filter. But for coffee, I like a nice clean cup of coffee, so I use the paper filter. So we're gonna get ready to brew here. One thing to note about the Clever coffee dripper, this is really good for traveling. It's plastic, you can just throw it in the suitcase. You don't have to worry about it breaking, it's lightweight. So it's nice traveling if you're on the road and you wanna have a really good cup of coffee. So let's get brewing here. The first thing I will want to do is you'll take the filter, and this is super simple. You just fold over the creases here, and this is so that it fits nicely in the dripper. Then you'll want to wet the paper filter down. So this does a couple things. It kind of rinses the filter, and it also warms up the dripper and the cup. So I'll just get all that water out. Okay, so now we are ready to brew. So I used 21 grams. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm going to level it out. And I'm going to tear my scale out. And the reason I'm using the scale here again is to get that ratio. So I put 21 grams of coffee in there. I'm going to roughly do about double of that to wet the grounds and do that pre-infusion process. And we're going to start our timer at the same time. Okay. So here you can see all the grounds of wet. It's doing the bloom right here. And we're going to let that go till about 25 to 30 seconds. Okay. All right, and then you can just kind of fill this up. And today I'm going to brew this to, it hits, the total here is going to hit 315 grams. That's going to hit my right brew ratio. Okay, 318. Close enough. Now I'm going to put the top back on. And I'm going to let this brew till right around 4 minutes. So it's important to note that I used a 1:15 brew ratio today, but really coffee is the way you like it. So if you find that this is too strong, take it back to maybe 1:16 or 1:18. And what I'm saying is 1 gram of coffee to 18 grams of water or 17 grams of water. So really find out what you like. That's one of the reasons I recommend the Malone brew log, that you can just record exactly how many grams of water, what the type of coffee is, and if you liked it or not. But you could also use a notepad. Okay, so we are going to let this brew for 2 more minutes. Another thing to think about, you'll see some shows that'll show you, entering it into a decanter. Well, I know this cup here holds about 300 grams of water. So I've used the right amount of water to fill this. If I was filling this all the way up, then I might use a decanter, but I've never really needed that. I really use this for a single serve coffee. All right, we've got a couple minutes. So let's let this brew, and I'll come back in a couple minutes and we'll see. All right, so we have brewed it up, and you can see how easy it is. You just put it on top and it'll drain in there. And the speed it drains at is proportional to the grind size. So if it's taking too long to drain, you can make it a little thicker, the particle size. And if it's going too quick, you can make the particle size smaller. Okay, almost done. And the great thing about this brewer, it's so easy to use, and it makes a nice full-bodied cup of coffee. All right. Put this over there. I'm going to give this a try, and then I'll show you how to clean the dripper. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so we've made a great cup of coffee with the coffee dripper. Now I want to show you some tips and some best practices for cleaning it. So this is an awesome way to make a cup of coffee. It's full immersion and pour over combined, but the one drawback is cleaning. You can see from this that there's a little bit of discoloration. So a lot of videos out there, they'll be using a brand new dripper. This has been used every day almost for the last couple years. And you can see, if you see a little close up there, there is some discoloration. So I've tried pretty much everything I could think of to clean it. A vinegar water mixture 50-50 is a good solution. That will help. I've used a toothbrush to get in some of these crevices. I've also used some coarse salts and sugars to really kind of scrub around in there. But really the best thing that I've found is a sponge that has a soft and a rougher side. Using the rougher side and getting in there with a little soap and water and letting it soak. But if anybody out there has found a better way to clean this, please let me know. I do want to show you a couple tricks though. It's not apparent at first, but this bottom part, for ease of cleaning, a tip, this comes off. So to take this bottom part off, you push in the rubber stopper in the inside, okay? And this will come off. That makes cleaning all these crevices a lot easier. And then this rubber gasket on the inside will pop off too. So once you've got it apart, then you can really get in there and scrub with your sponge. Now, when you're putting it back together, it's important to note that if you look at this stopper, you've got this side here is the thicker side. The thicker side, it goes in here, thick side up. It will fit on this upside down, but if you do that, your dripper is going to leak. So if you put it back together and you're getting some dripping, just make sure you put this in right. So the thick side up, and you put it in here. Okay, and once you've got that in there good, to put this back on, it's got some little notches, and you just want to line up the notches here with these little indentions. Okay. And you have to be careful a little bit. Like when I did that right then, I pushed a little bit too hard so the gasket popped out on the other side. So if that happens, you just push it back in. Make sure it's all the way in there. Okay. And this isn't something I do every cleaning. What I do this about, a deep clean about once a week. Normally what I will do after I've used it is let it soak in a little bit of soapy water and give it a quick rub down, rinse down there, and then once a week I'll do a deep cleaning. So that's back together. So that's some tips on how to keep clean the coffee dripper. If you're watching this video on social media, please, if you have any other ideas on how to clean it, please give us a comment. And yeah, thanks for watching, and cheers.